Our next question that we've found is often asked is in regards to improving your speaking voice so that you can express emotion more effectively.
That is very interesting because I grew up in Japan and my Japanese language is more nasal than English language. So I had to go through intensive vocal training just for speaking. The accent reduction is for once, and using the air effectively to talk to the microphone or without microphone. So effective voice training I learned is to have your neutral voice tone. You can use your keyboard or whatever musical instrument and then test one tone, speak. And when you get angry, your voice naturally goes up. I'm so angry, or I'm so sad. You can use the maximum waves. Try find your neutral tone is very important, I learned. And it takes a little bit of practice because, again, I'm from Japan and I was encouraged to speak in softer and a little bit upper voice to just imitate a little girl. Hi, I'm Misako. This is good for Japanese. But if I said, hi, I'm Misako in this country as a professional speaker, is she okay? Right? So I chose to practice for my voice, speaking voice, to be more effectively. So that doesn't matter if my background, I still speak a little bit higher in my own language, but when you speak English, it has more use upper and deeper side has a little more depth from my experience. So I use more effectively. I focus on the effectiveness. To do so, I really practice to find my neutral tone. And this is my neutral tone. So what do you think?
Well, I would say one area that can be a little bit risky is when we go, Misako, you mentioned the lower end of the scale, if we kind of let a word trail off a little bit. I've had that in feedback of my own speeches where I was told by fellow speakers and the like, be careful, your voice was starting to trail off and we missed that last word. And I've seen other people do it as well. So that's a tricky one because I love to be able to raise my voice and then go a little bit quieter. But if we go too quiet, all of a sudden we lose the audio. So that's one thing to be careful of.
And all of these elements that you're describing are really the 5 elements of speech. And I learned about these from my speech coach. So these are the pitch, the tone, the melody, the pace, and the volume. So 5 key elements there. So pitch, whether we speak really high or we speak really low. The melody is how the words flow as we continue to speak. Are we very regimented? Speak one word at a time? Or do we have a nice rhythm that carries through? Tonality speaks to what Misako was speaking about, where it's a little airy at times. It might come across as being an airy person versus having a rich baritone voice and maybe needing to generate some kind of feeling based on how deeper the voice can be. And then pace. How fast are you speaking? Or how slow are you speaking? And finally, volume. Can we speak really loud or keep it nice and soft? But all of these elements help build your speaking and storytelling abilities, because the more that you use these ranges in your voice, the more descriptive that your story becomes, and it puts that thought into your audience's mind so that they can really feel what it is that you're feeling just by the changes you make with your voice.
I like that. I often practice for one person angry one person intimidated, often change the breathing pattern. It gets faster when you're intimidated, and when you're angry, it also shallow but different way of using breath. And pay attention to what your body is doing when you're speaking. That helps you along the way when you're telling a story. As just Tim told, we can more variety of our tone, more variety of the story and scenery behind it. The audience can pick it up. So this is very helpful.